you have to go so soon, Santa?
Sadly, I must.
I mean, couldn't you just stay for the rest of this review?
Sorry, but being Santa Claus is a year-round job, and there's plenty of other big nasty ghouls for me to fight.
Okay, well, have a safe trip back north.
And pleasant trips for you, gents, and have a Merry Christmas!
He does know it's the middle of summer, right?
Don't ruin the moment.
And here, I have all of your things packed.
Wait, are we going somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, we just saved all of the amphibians. Don't you think we should stay here for a bit?
Sorry, boys, we go where the story goes. And right now, the story's heading up that mountain.
So wait, we're replacing blazing hot desert with freezing cold mountaintops.
I also packed you hot soup, cocoa, and fuzzy slippers.
Well, I guess we don't need anything else when it comes to mountain climbing. This is Kulipari Episode 10. The episode begins with the Kulipari, as well as Daryl, riding on the backs of giant Komodo dragons up a mountain for some reason.
But they also established that frogs don't do so well in the cold. So it's still a mystery of why the hell they're up here in the first place.
Oh, for that matter, neither do I.
Oh, stop being a baby.
Hey, it's not my fault. The editor forgot to give me a pair of clothes.
You got a tie.
Well, it's not until nightfall do we actually see what they're doing. They're up the mountain in order to find the not Turtle King.
We later cut to a couple of bats being harassed by a strange green energy. Turns out the green energy is coming from the spiders. The Spider Queen and what appears to be her pupil, who we have yet to see before. The Spider Queen commands the bats to destroy the platypus village because they can't risk them getting in contact with the frogs with what the rainbow serpent tells them to. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss. What's going on here?
What the hell be the rainbow serpent, and why is it important?
The rainbow serpent was mentioned a few times before, to be fair, but it was more of an afterthought, really. It never really served much importance to the plot up until now. And why attack a bunch of harmless platypuses? What relevance do they have?
All we be asking is that the story explain this first. We later be cutting to the platypus village, where we meet a new character by the name of Pip. Pip is training to be a stargazer in order to commune with the sea spirit, the rainbow serpent. And we get a little bit of lore, but then the current stargazer sees the doom and destruction that's going to happen as a great battle for both land and water will occur.
Yeah, that already happened last episode. Keep up. She also exclaims that the only one that can save them is the Blue Sky King. Wait, we're adding another character to the roster? Who's this Blue Sky King?
Who else? Daryl.
When did this come up? When did any of this come up? There's only 3 episodes after this one. It's too late in the game to be throwing in plot devices like this.
Well, before they can do anything, the bats from earlier attack the platypuses and drag them away. But Pip manages to escape and goes to warn the frogs to get the Blue Sky King Daryl.
Well, Pepe manages to make it from the wetlands into the desert, and against all odds, no seriously, all odds, she manages to run into Guy, Cora, and the other frogs, while they're testing a weird formula that's supposed to melt scorpion armor, which I'm sure won't be a plot point later on. And Pepe informs them that they need Daryl's help in order to save everyone. Again. We later cut back to Mount Doom, as the Spider Queen is healing Nemu. And not only healing him, but making him stronger.
But she still manages to keep a leash on him as she holds his armor hostage, and she won't harden his skin unless he behaves.
So the Spider Queen uses her dark magic in order to find where Daryl and the Kulipari are. Lord Nemu wants to kill them himself, but she has other plans. For she wants to kill them herself. But she also exclaims that the Rainbow Serpent is a real enemy, and whatever they could have learned from her, they must destroy. Again, who is this Rainbow Serpent? Is it like a god? A deity of some sort? It wasn't really important throughout most of the series. Why is it all of a sudden important now?
Well, at least I'm not the only one who noticed this huge tone shift in what's going on.
We later cut back to Daryl in a cave, while him, the turtle, and the Kulipari are searching for particular cave drawings. And they find them. The teachings of the quote-unquote rainbow serpent, who looks like it's giving a prophecy. But even more revelation than that, Daryl discovers that his father may have been here, because he sees a spray-painted version of his knife on the walls.
But no time to worry about that, as the Spider Queen's trying to bring the entire mountain on top of them. They manage to escape most of the avalanche, but she also uses her powers to summon a great beast in order to attack Daryl. But one of the Kulipari manages to get in the way of the attack. Daryl manages to throw the beast off of a cliff, and they manage to survive an entire avalanche falling on them.
You know, at this point, I don't think plot armor does the phrase justice.
They're more like in a plot fortress. Well, later that night, one of the Kulipari discovers that Mohawk Frog's been hurt, and is injected with some of the powerful venom that the witch cast. But he doesn't want to tell the others for some weird reason.
He probably doesn't want to slow him down.
Not that it really matters. They have no place to go. The Cave of Wonders that they found has been buried under snow and rock, and they have no way of getting it back in.
But of course, Daryl doesn't want to give up. He just knows that there's another way into the cave.
But all the rest want to turn back, except for Mohawk Frog, because Mohawk Frog all of a sudden believes in him.
And you know, of all the choices made in this series, this one seems the most odd.
Why is that?
Well, at the beginning when we seen Mohawk Frog for the first time, he was pompous, arrogant, and if you weren't a Kulipari, he didn't really respect you. But now he's completely devoted to Daryl.
Huh, that is a good point. When did they connect? I mean, I guess one could argue that there might have been a time skip, but it still would have been nice to see these two bonding and respecting one another.
Well, even when all hope is lost, the rainbow serpent gives them a small little sign that says keep pushing on through the use of a rainbow.
And that was Kulipari, episode 10.
Or as I'm calling, the Blind Faith episode.
What once was a minor detail at the beginning of the series is now starting to become a huge plot point in their lore, which wasn't really discussed at the beginning.
And they're also throwing in a lot of new elements and new characters that they haven't even worked on their old characters' personalities. Why should we accept these new ones?
And it sounds like this Blue Sky King nonsense that they just pulled out of their asses at the last second, just to make Daryl seem more important than what he actually is.
He's still safely generic 10 episodes into his character.
Same goes for all the others.
It feels like I'm watching a completely different show at this point.
But the characters are really so generic that they could be literally put in any scenario and it would work.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this huge blind faith and tone shift here, but we're already 10 episodes in, there's only 3 left, so I think we can muscle it out.
So I guess until next time, we're the Cartoon Gentlemen,
the Vintage Kings, and we'll organize chaos next time.
Ah, hey, what the fuck?
Oh, what a cute little squirrely. I shall hug him and feed him and pet him and hold him, and I will name him George.
I can think of 10 different ways to kill you right now. Put me down!
I guess this is going to be a crisis that we'll have to solve next episode.
Yes, I am.